Welcome everyone to another episode of Real to Real, where we have real convos, real people. I'm your host, Thamousca, and today is so special because I have a beautiful soul here who actually consider my daughter and like a daughter, right? And we're gonna get right into it. Let me go ahead and break down who we have today. Okay. Mrs. Destiny Joseph Bishop. She's a proud Clark Atlanta University alumna where she studied public administration and discovered her deep passion for public service and social impact. Currently, she conducts legal research for attorneys and works to make legal resources more accessible to those in need. Powerful. Destiny is a devoted wife, a proud mom, and the oldest of two sisters. When she's not balancing family life, she's focusing on community advocacy with hopes of pursuing a career that advances youth education in communities of color. Destiny, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for
Oh
having me.
my
Honored. Thank
God.
you. Thank you. I'm glad to
Okay.
be here. I'm happy to
All
be
grown
here. Thank
up,
you so
all
much.
grown up. I literally, for the people who don't know, Destiny, oh my gosh. It's almost like I birthed you. Like I've
Here we
known
go.
you, like,
My
you know what I'm
whole life
saying? Like,
since pull
right.
ups.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish your mom was here because, like, the stories. And how old are you now, Des?
I am 26. I'll be 27 in 2 weeks, which is
That's right,
crazy.
Leo
I'm
Nation.
getting old. Come on now.
You said 26?
I'll be 27 in 2 weeks.
Oh,
I'm
20,
26 currently.
27. Oh my goodness.
I
Wow.
know. I'm getting up
Okay.
there.
I mean, they looking at me. They thought I was 25. So when you said 27, they're like, hold on now.
Hold on. You play too much. No, hold on now is
No,
right.
no. Black don't crack. That's all I'm
I know
saying.
that's right. That's all I'm saying.
Well, today, it's so funny because as we're talking about babies, me literally, you being, this big, here you are as a mom. So I thought it would be so fitting to invite you on this podcast and to really discuss this myth called motherhood is easy. So we're talking about motherhood, managing and maturing. And so we're going to be talking and diving into whether motherhood is easy or maybe it's just bullocks, as the English would say. It's just kind of pure foolery, nonsense, right? So, and we're all here to really talk about the real, right? We're not sugarcoating. You're here to really just kind of share your experiences, and this is what I'm looking forward to. So we're gonna get right into it. Des, can I call you Des?
Of course.
Oh, of course. So, where do you think this whole concept, this whole myth comes from that motherhood is easy, in your opinion?
Um, so honestly, I think for me, I think it just really comes from a mix of societal norms as well as just kind of generational silence. I think motherhood is easy is something that is kind of indoctrinated in us as the Black community. I think it's kind of almost like in kind of unspoken expectation for Black women to just be strong, to carry everything, and just kind of do things without complaint. I look at my
Mm,
mom and my grandmother, and like, maybe they weren't as open as talking as open talking about things that were hard for them. They kind of
yeah,
just pushed through, and they almost acted as though, well, I'm doing this because this is what I have to do.
right.
So from the outside looking in, it kind of looks effortless, but in today's time, I would say if we add social media to that, that's a whole other level of it, right? Like adding social media to the mix, people are not only showing cute dressed up moments, and they're not really showing the late night breakdowns. They're kind
Mm,
of solely showing the happy moments. They're not showing the point that they're having tough times, and I think
right.
it paints a false picture, and it's harmful, especially for new moms who are trying to navigate for the first time, because it makes you feel almost like everything that you're doing is a failure. um and maybe failure is not the word. Maybe like it just really makes you feel like everything you're doing is in vain because I'm not doing
Yeah.
that person, or man, my mom made this look so easy, or like literally parents sometimes telling you like exclusively like, well, I didn't go through that, but they did go through it. It just showed up a different way for them, because of maybe their own coping mechanisms and their own way that they deal with emotions, or what so have you. So I really just think it comes from a generational pass down, as well as kind of societal norms and romanticizing I could do bad all by myself, or
Mm.
you have help. I'm the leader of this. I got this on my back. My help is just my help. It's a bonus, but mm, I think it's just something that's passed down. It's indoctrinated almost.
Absolutely. I mean, you bring up several great points. Generationally, our moms, our grandmas, it's almost like as women, we have a cape. We can't complain. We can't show sweat and tears, and we just had to kind of make do. With whatever you had, with whatever resources, whoever was in your life, and just make do. And it's like this concept of um making motherhood look like it's easy, even though deep down they were kind of like going through it, but not really showing it. And so, the gender norms also that you kind of speak on, historically speaking, it's kind of like women had two roles. Either was a wife and a mother. Those were your two purposes. You know what I mean? And so this concept that naturally speaking women were just good at being wives and mothers, and so this concept is being perpetuated down the line, even in pop culture. I'm thinking of the show, I don't know if you're familiar with the Brady Bunch, right?
Hmm.
The Brady Bunch, it was like two, it was Mike Brady and it was Carol. They came together, had this blended family. He had three sons, she had three daughters. And then they had this family of eight, I think, plus the maid or the nanny or something. And then she just kind of made it so like glamorous and fun and happy and cheerful all the time, which kind of reinforced that myth like, oh, yeah, motherhood is easy. It doesn't matter if you have 6 children, 10 children, 20 children. As long as you have a good attitude, it's going to be easy because we're the Brady Bunch. So yeah, so I think all of these, pop culture, historically, patriarchal society, all these different things really kind of hone into this understanding of motherhood is easy. Yeah.
For sure. Um, and I think it kind of just being, we don't have to glamorize doing things by ourselves, right? Like
Mhm.
it's beautiful to have the ability to do things, but like having a partner and balancing out, and like I think it's almost like, because the mom is kind of like everything, like we house so much within ourselves, especially starting out, like essentially there's but so much that the dad can do in the first couple of months as far as the needs of the child, especially like me having a certain experience because I nursed. I think it almost became like a, well, I have to do it this way because this is what she needs. Like of course he can change diapers, of course he can do those things, and those things were understood, but she wanted me like all the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it just kind of became a thing of like, wow, okay, cool, like you just want to be with me 24/7, like it's just us, and it's beautiful, but essentially it's hard because it takes away so much from your ability to kind of breathe and manage and decompress and say, I need help. Or,
Yeah.
hey, I was with her all day, like from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Right.
I know you took her a couple of times to change her diaper and to play with her and to spend time with her, but like I don't want her for like 3 hours. And that's okay.
That's
It's
okay.
okay. It's okay that I don't really want to hold her for 3 hours because I've had her for 9 months. onward. And it's kind of just like
I need a
it's
break.
okay. Listen, like please. But it's okay, and it's not making yourself feel guilty about that. It's so much. And it's not easy, cuz then you feel the guilt, and you feel the mom guilt, and you feel all the things at once, and that makes it even harder. So it's not easy. It is not easy.
Absolutely. I mean, you actually answering the second part of the question, which is, do you believe motherhood is easy, and what type of internal struggles that you've experienced as a mom that maybe went unspoken or unnoticed?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just kind of like, now, don't get me wrong, and I really want to be very clear on this. Like, motherhood is beautiful, but I would say one of the hardest things that you'll go through. And, you hear like maybe to me, like, you're not going to understand until you're a mom. And
Mhm.
granted, when she was saying that to me, I was
Yeah.
in a much later phase than my baby is right now. But it's still kind of like, this is one of the things, like, definitely, now that I'm in it, I understand even more.
Mhm.
And I think one of the hardest internal struggles for me has been the probably like the quiet battle with my identity. I feel like I've
Mm.
kind of had to grieve the version of myself that existed before I became a mom. And that's something that people don't talk about enough. And it's kind of like this pressure to be on all the time. Like, kind of like what I
Mm.
just said, like, no, it's okay. Like, I can keep her because I love that bond. Like, but also, excuse me being an advocate for mental health, just wanting to be real and understand that what you're feeling is the fog, and it is the guilt, and it's the guilt for needing help, and it's the shame for not feeling grateful enough. Like what people say, oh, look at it differently. Oh, it's a positive experience, but it's okay to be overwhelmed. Like, it's okay for this to be a whole different experience, especially as a first time mom, a whole different experience from anything. This is uncharted territory.
That's right.
And I actually feel like when I was actually just overwhelmed, I kind of felt like I'm not being grateful enough, but I'm actually just tired. Like, I have
Mm.
this plate-sized wound inside of myself, literally, that's I'm not only physically healing and my body's getting together and trying
Yeah,
to recuperate, but my hormones are everywhere. There's chemical
that's right.
imbalances there. There's so much that's going on. And I think just kind of being vulnerable about that was hard for me. It was difficult to not put on a smile, especially being that I wanted to look like I had it all together. I wanted to look
Mm.
like I'm still learning that, like, for me, asking for help doesn't make me weak. It just makes me
That's
human.
right.
Like, it's not easy. But it's just either you're going to ask for help, or you're going to struggle with this and kind of feel like there's a monkey on your back, and that'll show up in other ways, right? It'll show up as you having guilt for yourself. It'll show up as silent anger towards yourself, silent resentment towards yourself. So, yeah, I would definitely just say that was a huge internal struggle, like just kind of being less hard on myself and kind of asking for help more.
Mm. So I'm hearing like giving yourself some grace to kind of just be and experience all the emotions that come with motherhood, and that you're not saying that it's all peaches and cream, but you're saying that it comes with its various challenges. I mean, you speak about maternal guilt, you speak about loss of identity, and also this sense of um, um, just understanding that there are shifts hormonally that's taking place, and not to suffer in silence, because sleep deprivation in itself, I mean, all these things that you mentioned are clinically like proven and research that mom do go through these things, and how they face it or handle it is is either going to make way for them to experience either mental health challenges, you know what I mean, or even physical health challenges. So this is why I always say, suffering in silence is a silent killer in itself,
For
but
sure.
and there's definitely no physical help without mental health. So the fact that you're saying, hey, I've realized these things about myself, I don't there's no need for me to be perfect all the time and be buttoned up and portray this image like, oh, I have to be the perfect mom, like what you see on social media, right? The mom influencers and all these things, like, oh, it's great, everybody's dressed up all nice and doing the things, but where's the real? When is the mask going to come down? So I appreciate you sharing that aspect, because I think more people, not only your generation, but more people need to just hear that, especially um, mothers who or people who wants to individuals who want to become mothers or who are soon to be moms. That it's not just, again, a rose, a walk down the park, right?
For
So,
sure.
in your opinion, what do you think women who don't have children? What do you think that perception of motherhood is easy? How do you think that impacts them?
So I think that's an interesting question for me because I am the first of my friends to have kids.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm the first of my friends to have kids. Um, and that's like both high school and collegiate. So
okay.
it's kind of just like I I think people without kids, especially people who may want children in the future, can interpret it kind of like as a goalpost. It can kind of be interpreted as like, oh, like everyone does it like this, so this is how I need to do it. Um, so I think people kind of expect, especially if I see perfection, I'm going to, well, at least the type of person that I am, like I'm gonna try to strive for that. Like I wanna be like that. I wanna try to see how I can be better and not look at it as a coveting what they have type of way, but oh, that's a way to do it. That's a way that I can kind of like that's a goal I can reach if you kind of understand what I mean. And I think seeing perfection as a first time mom or as somebody who's not a mom, you kind of think that that's the standard. So when you enter motherhood, it's kind of like you just think that it'll fall into place like that. And if it
Mm.
doesn't look the same way, you're like terribly disappointed
Hmm.
because you internalize that as a failure.
As a failure, yeah.
And you start to think like,
Is it me?
yeah, like, is it me? Like, oh, when Destiny did it, like, it was so much easier for her. Little did you know, as a friend of mine or as a close friend of mine, I'm going through so much behind closed doors as
Right.
far as what I'm dealing with on a personal level in regard to motherhood. And I think it just also leads to kind of like judgment. It leads to like competition. It leads to shock, guilt, and again, falling back to silent suffering. I think that's a big thing that moms go through. I think it's one of the probably highest contributors to postpartum silent
Hmm.
suffering, not being able to talk about it, not knowing who to talk about it with, because
Right.
you're gonna be judged for so much. Like, oh, it can't be that bad because Keisha got a baby and it's easy for her, or Ashley has a baby and it's easy for her. But it's like, did Ashley tell you that? And maybe Ashley did tell you that, but like maybe it's harder for her in a certain aspect. Like
Hmm.
it's and a big part that I would say women without children definitely probably interpret is like, oh, this must be the same for everybody because I know 3 moms who did it this way. But then there's like 7 moms who didn't. So it's kind of just like every baby, every journey, every body is different.
That's
Like
right.
everything is different for everybody. Like the way that it'll show up is so much different for you. And I mean, we should be able to kind of exchange those things, right? Like the mom friends that I have made, like I said, having kids, I didn't have any existing friends that were moms, but the friends that I've made since becoming a mom who now mutually have children, I think that's beautiful to me because I see that the journeys are so different. A mom
Absolutely.
who like is nursing versus a mom who's doing formula, and the reasons, like communicating and like being able to say like, hey, I stopped this at 2 months, but I really stopped because it was hard for me, but it's beautiful
That's
that
right.
you're doing it. When do you feel like you're going to stop, or whatever the case may be? So kind of just realizing and recognizing that it's different, like it's different for everybody. And you don't have to look at it as this is the meter, because that's really what I meant by like striving and looking at somebody else's life as perfection. Like, this is the meter, that's, I want to be that type of mom. And it's like kind of like what you said with the Brady Bunch, like I want to be a mom like that, like she's so
Right.
cool. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, but like that'll come with time, one, and then two,
Experience too.
experience. Like it may not look like that, you may be like a version of that. You may be like that in some areas and maybe not other areas. There's like, so there's so much that goes into it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and one of the things I was going to mention too is like, especially postpartum, you need a village, like you need a support system. And, going back to what you were saying in terms of your identity and the sense of loss, is kind of like, well, who's the new destiny now postpartum, as a mom now, as a wife. And so your circle of friends is going to look different. And that's okay too. That doesn't mean, you distance yourself from those friends that you have, but the conversations and the phase at which you're in is different, and that's just the reality of it. So I'm so pleased to hear that you found a community of women or mothers that's there to kind of like support you along the way, but also to allow you to see that everyone's journey is different. And even though our journey is different, and even though our parenting styles are different, we're still in that kind of umbrella of mothers, and then we can support each other, offer even advice and support when comes, when if necessary. So this is good. You seem like you're under the weather. You okay?
Yeah, so we had some temperature issues is what I'll call it. Issues with the AC. Both it's 90 degrees in the state of Maryland.
Oh
It's been
gosh.
between 90 to like 85, so it's been hot. Um and when we had the issues in here, we recently
Mhm.
got them fixed, but I think the temperature change from it being so hot and us having the fans on and all that other good stuff, it has me a little sniffles, a little bit of the sniffles.
Okay,
So
all right.
yeah,
Well,
it's not a cold yet, but the sniffles because of the fan and the temperature and all the other good stuff. All
oh,
the
okay.
extra.
So it's not sick
Yeah.
sick. It's like,
Yeah, not sick, just a little runny nose.
okay, well, do what you gotta do, girl. I mean, if you
Mhm.
gotta sneeze and dig out the boogers, you gotta do what you gotta
Nope, nope,
do.
nope. No boogies, but
Um,
definitely I don't want to drip drip. They like, what is that on her face? What is
yeah.
that? Yeah.
And I think, this concept of motherhood is easy. I think of my mom as a single parent, like it definitely wasn't easy. Obviously, as a child, I'm not really seeing the ins and outs because, again, like your mom and your grandma, they made it seem like, it was pretty easy. You know what I mean? Even though I know my mom was going through it as a single mom, not having support, being, putting herself through nursing school. And, while I'm at grandma's and she's trying to make the best that she can in her 20s, early 20s at that, trying to raise me. You see what I'm saying? Um, and this whole concept, not having children, is the whole, to me, is just, I think of motherhood as easy as like people see it and then they get false expectations, or they start, comparing themselves like you just shared, right? And this romanticizing, like, oh, motherhood is just about, just you get pregnant, you have a baby shower, and that's it. You know what I mean? And you just, dress up your child, and you just parade your child in the bassinet, not bassinet, but the what you call those, the
Stroller.
strollers, right? And then that's it. So I think it definitely creates a false sense of reality for people who's not there, and who's seeing the button up, on in TV shows and on social media. So, but the reality is that ain't what it is. You know what I mean? Just like a job, you're thinking of pursuing a particular career. Actually, surround yourself with people that actually is in that field. Do some volunteering job at that field, in that field. You know what I mean? So motherhood is same way. Surround yourself with people who are mothers, and ask those questions, so you can get the real, and hopefully people are honest in sharing their experiences. So, again, I'm just glad you're sharing with the people, because people need to hear this. You know what I mean?
And I think, to kind of just add to your point, I think something that I would definitely kind of like, maybe like something that comes to mind, not of to make it easier, but have fun with it. I think that's like, I'm only 11 months in, so I'm no expert, but I would definitely say making it, to make it easier, having fun, because kids don't know nothing but joy, kindness, and love. They know what you
Mhm.
give to them, and they know what they're experiencing. And I can definitely just say that, like, seeing how happy my daughter is every single day makes me happy. And it makes me just want to, when I say have fun with it, like, what is going to make this easier for me? Maybe just turning on some loud children's music and reading a bunch
Okay.
of books with her and playing with a bunch of toys, or taking her outside. That makes her day. She just likes having fun. She likes experiencing
Hmm.
life. She likes exploring her world, what I like to call it, her world. Because that's what it is when they're at this age. Like, it's really their world. And even older, like, it's really their world. And I
Hmm.
think that to get that experience, to kind of make it lighter on us, because I think the days where I see, oh, she just like responded to that, she loves that, and it'll be the silliest thing, but I'm like, she loves that, let me
She
keep
loves
doing it.
it.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
let me keep doing it. And it's like, once I see that, that's enough, and it makes it easier for me, because next thing you know, it's 12 o'clock and it's nap time. Here we go. Next thing you know, woo, it's nap time. So look
Which
at
is
look
nap
at
time
that.
for mommy too.
Right.
Break time for mommy.
That's right.
I love that, have fun with it. And don't be afraid to kind of like fail, not even fail, but don't be afraid to kind of like, if you do something and you like, oops, you know what I'm saying? Because motherhood is a continuous learning curve, a learning process. You get to learn about your baby's learning you and daddy, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like this beautiful exchange. And like you said, there's things that you're gonna do. She's gonna enjoy this, things that you're gonna do, like, Mom, what you doing? Nah, I ain't with that. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But you get to learn and understand, your child's personality. So absolutely. I think people, mothers are so focused on getting it right and being a perfect mother. And I hear it all the times with my clients. It's like, oh well, I don't want to mess up, and I want to make sure I do good, or that, that they're constantly happy. No, there's a whole spectrum of emotions. Allow the child to experience all of that. They're not going to always be happy, just like you as a mom is not going to always be happy and go lucky, So
Absolutely.
it's a matter of exploring what you think is right for your child, and
Hmm.
following your innate intuition, and relying on your village, on the elders, on people you trust, who's been through it, who has children. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So as you know, Real to Real is all about, demystifying myths and stereotypes. And so the original myth, which is motherhood, managing, maturing, motherhood is easy. I want us to really leave listeners and those who are also watching to kind of like break it down so that they're not stuck with the myth, but that we're breaking it down into something that is more realistic sounding. Okay, so what do you think? How would you restate this title so that it sounds more realistic as opposed to just womanhood is easy?
Right. I would definitely say for me, like I would start out with motherhood isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a daily masterclass. It's a daily module in grace, in patience, and in growth. And I love that you said, kind of piggybacking off of what you said before, but for you and for the baby, because this is a person. This is a person with their own emotions, forming their
Mm-hmm.
own thoughts. And although we have a hand in their experience, all we can do is fortify a positive experience. Like your job is to normalize both it not being easy, but normalize also loving them fiercely and still saying, this is hard, but I got all the love in the world, and all the love in the world is going to get you to the next point. It is. I genuinely think that. I really do. So, motherhood may not be easy, but it's just an opportunity to grow, to become more patient, to gain more grace, and kind of just like it may be one of the hardest journeys you'll ever take, which I'm making the myth even longer now. It's like, where are we going? But no, it really may be one of the hardest journeys you'll ever take, but it's one of the most beautiful. Truthfully, it is. It's one of the most beautiful. And I feel like once the moments that I have where I'm like, oh man, this is hard. But again, I see the smile on my daughter's face. She don't care if it's hard or not. She's just
Mm-hmm.
happy to be here. So I'm like, man, this is hard. But look, you are so happy.
You're
So why
giggling.
can't I be right? I
Yeah.
can meet you where you are. And I think that just drives me. Like it's not easy, but it's okay that it's hard. It's okay that it's hard.
Oh, I like that. Cause mine was actually I had two and I was kind of like, huh. Which is to kind of like in alignment with what you're saying. Motherhood is hard, but it's okay.
Mhm.
Right? Motherhood is complex and it goes beyond just delivering a baby. So, it's kind of like still touching on we know it's a blessing, but there's also another layer to it, you know? Things are just not just one-sided. It's not just one side to a coin. So it's important to know that there's a balance and it's how the mom or the parents are managing the nuances or the challenges that arise. You know what I mean? And so when you share about the providing a positive experience for your daughter, what do you feel as a daughter that you would like to impart in your daughter that you probably maybe didn't experience as a daughter?
I love that. So now that I'm much older, I feel like it's changed so much. But first, I'll start by saying one that I did experience. My
Mhm.
mom, and some look at it multiple ways, but my mom had me young. So what I can definitely say is we had a lot of fun. Now, she wasn't my friend. I had a friend in her,
Okay.
but she was not my friend, but we
There
had a
wasn't.
lot of fun. We did. She was always a jokester, always a goofster, always wanting to have silly moments, and that like I can remember vividly as a kid. But one thing I would definitely say is kind of like being that I was blessed enough to have a girl. I think kind of just like fortifying her in like all that girl power is, and like I'm I'm totally for boy power. I'm totally for that, but we're talking about girl power right now.
That's right. That's right.
And I think for me, kind of just reminding her of all the strength that she has in herself and reaffirming that for all her stages. Um while my mom did a great job at like teaching me confidence, I don't think that she really kind of understood that part as much, or like kind of like probably wasn't even in tune with that part as much. And I
Yeah.
think my generation being so in tune with our mental, and what many people like to say, we come up with stuff. But
Mm,
it's not new stuff. It's just it's repackaged, and these aren't new things. These are things that have been said, have been done. But I think for me, it's kind of like wanting to affirm her in every stage of life. Like nothing is silly. Nothing you want to do is not a big deal. Everything can be a big deal.
yeah.
And I think that's just really important. It's really important for little people, because I think that's what makes them like mega, like powerhouses at like
Yeah.
super young ages. And of course confidence is super important as well, but that has to be watered. And I think to
Oh, I love that.
always kind of like water that in her, I think I just want her to blossom into this wildflower. Like I really want
Ooh.
her to do anything she wants to do, but I
Oh,
want her to know, like, you nothing like, again, this is not small. This is a big deal. Everything is a big deal. And like
mhm.
all your wins are big wins. Like all of
That's
these
right.
things and these moments are like are are huge moments. And I think, again, for girls, we need that, because a lot of the times people want girls to like play small or be meek, and like modesty.
Mhm.
Modesty
Mhm.
is what people associate with women or girls and girlhood and womanhood, but you don't really have to be modest. You can be modest, but I think to fit into spaces, you don't have to fit into spaces. Like you you don't have to play small. Like you can
Yeah.
be as big as you are and still be a respectable person, or be uh, uh um a I think well versed. I would use the word well versed individual. But I think playing small is not what we're gonna do. You're gonna be a girl, and you're gonna be, I don't like to use the word tough cookie, but you're gonna attack everything. All
Not
the
the
good
tough
things in
cookie.
life. Yes, not the tough cookie, but you're gonna attack everything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I appreciate you saying that so much because it even reminds me of my childhood with my mom. Growing up in a Haitian household, it's kind of like, I didn't feel like I could express my full authenticity, my full being, because it was kind of like you had to fit in a certain mold. It's like, in Haitian household, even Caribbean, period. It's like there's only three professions out there that's reputable that you should follow. It's doctor, engineer, or lawyer. Anything else is like unacceptable. What are you doing with your life? You're wasting it. And so when you say, you want to be able to water her desires, her wishes, her goals, her dreams, aspirations, that's needed for her emotional um well-being, but also as for her to successfully go through the developmental stages, the encouragement, the you believing in her and pouring into her, that builds her sense of self-acceptance, self-confidence. And so I think definitely young girls, we need that more. We need parents to understand, like, telling a girl like, oh, tighten up, be strong, you don't need to cry, be tough, all these things. That's just doing the child a disservice. You know what I mean? It's okay to cry and show emotions. It's okay to, like you said, be vulnerable. It's okay to want things, but as long as we have parents who are there to support us, to uplift us, to motivate us, to inspire us, I think that's the beautiful part. So, um any final thoughts you want for the people listening or watching?
Final
Any
thoughts.
advice you have maybe for current mothers or mothers
Advice.
to be?
Don't be so hard on yourself. I feel like I've said that like many times, but don't be so hard on yourself. Like, and you're a great mom. For the moms, you are a great mom.
Mhm.
And every day is a new day to learn and to grow.
Absolutely. For the
Definitely.
mothers out there, I would say stop comparing yourself to your neighbor, your family member, what you see online. You know, follow your own drum. Have a support system. Don't go through life's challenges alone. Share your vulnerabilities, at least with someone you trust, not with everybody, but someone who you can lean on, who's going to provide you some objective advice, who's not just going to tell you what you want to hear, but who's going to be, who's going to lend an ear and who's going to provide you some sound advice. And I like that. Don't be too hard on yourself. For real, for real. Life is already challenging in itself. You know what I
Literally.
mean? And stop striving for perfection. We can attempt and strive for mastery. That's great, but perfection, that's just fantasy.
And your baby
So
is happy. Your baby is happy.
that's
They
right.
are
If mommy's
happy.
happy, the baby's happy.
Yeah.
So I have a game for you, Destiny. Are you ready for this
A
here?
game,
That's
sure.
right. That's right. It's called Real Truth or Real Lie. Okay. So it's
Mhm.
going to be, I'm going to give you 5 questions or 5 statements, and you just tell me, girl, it's a lie or it's a truth. And these statements are just not random statements. These truths on there are actually research, peer reviewed, clinically proven statements um, that were conducted. Um, I'm losing my train of thought. It's getting late. That's what it is. Okay. Anyways, what I'm saying is there are research statements. Okay.
For sure.
Um, so question number 1. Let's see if she's gonna get all 5, y'all. Let's see. Most mothers experience guilt regardless of how well they parent. You think it's a real truth or a real lie?
That's real truth, for sure.
All right. Number 2, motherhood comes naturally to all women.
I w-
Mm,
I'm
mm.
in the middle. I'm in the
Y'all
middle. I
stuck
do
now.
feel like certain things are instinctual. Like that's
Hmm.
just what it is. But does it come naturally to all women? I want to say that's real lie.
It doesn't. That's a myth in itself. Saying that motherhood is easy, motherhood comes naturally to a woman. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Just like
Yeah,
drawing and painting doesn't come naturally to everybody. You see what I'm saying?
right.
You're doing good. 2 for 2. Number 3, sleep deprivation can impact a new mom's mental health.
That's real truth. Luckily, Brandy has always been a good sleeper, but that
Ooh.
still is real true. She's came
Oh,
out, she blessed us. She was getting making room. They say,
what?
but yeah,
Okay.
no, she has been
Brandy,
good.
huh? And that is not experienced by most parents. I mean, you have
Right, right,
parents
right,
that's like the baby came out the womb and they couldn't stop crying. So
right.
you did good, girl. You must have been doing some keels. Um 3 for 3. Number 4, many mothers struggle silently with identity loss after having children.
Real true,
And you actually, that was the first thing you actually mentioned.
for
So
sure.
it's a real thing. That loss of identity is like, who am I now? You know, this sense of regaining this lost autonomy that you once had. It's a real thing. All right, we 4 for 4 now. Okay, girl. Number
Come on,
5,
Pepper.
good moms don't need breaks from their kids.
That's a real lie. Like, um, thank God for a break. Come on now, listen,
Oh
listen.
my gosh, she got it, y'all. I wish I had like a trophy, a prize, some firecrackers, something. But you got 5 out of 5. Go ahead, girl. You the first one who got 5 out of 5 on the show.
Not the first
Excellent.
one ever.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Well, it's a Leo thing. It's a Leo thing. To all the Leos
What
out
can I
there who's
say?
having birthdays, okay? Shout outs to all of you. But yeah, good moms don't need breaks from their kid. No, you need breaks. Because if not, you're going to go mentally crazy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's important to balance still having your friend group, still leaning on your husband or your partner,
And it
still going out there and engaging in self care. That's important.
absolutely. And it helps your mental, because kind of like what you said, if the mommy isn't good, the baby isn't good. But
That's right.
it definitely helps your mental. Like I could imagine that as the older they get, the more breaks you need because it's they're changing so much, and your experience is going to change, so you need breaks so you know how to deal with situations.
Absolutely. Self care is paramount. And I say this all the time, not just because I'm a therapist, but, you know, take care of yourself, because the better you feel, the better your experiences in your relationship in your immediate environment. So, this sense, I always hear it all the time. Mothers just like, well, I feel guilty if I take a break or if I go get a massage, or if I go to the park, or if I go to dinner with friends, and that maternal guilt is real. But guess what? You're also doing yourself and the child a disservice not taking breaks, So, oh my gosh, we have come to the end of our show. Destiny, I am so excited that you've come and blessed us with your presence today. We definitely have to do this again.
For sure.
Um, and I really want to give you your flowers because literally I've seen you blossom from a beautiful child to an adolescence and now into a beautiful mom, wife, and just a beautiful human being.
Mhm.
And, as you know, you can always call and reach on me. I am part of your village, and you're doing a good job. Just know
Thank
that.
you so much. Thank you
You
so
know,
much. I really appreciate that.
you're
I haven't
welcome.
haven't been told I was doing a good job in a minute. So
Well,
I love that.
there it
Thank
is,
you.
and I think it's important to bless mothers and daddies too, fathers too, and let them know that they are doing a great job. And you are. And I see your vulnerability, your authenticity. And there's gonna be time it's gonna be rough. There's gonna be times gonna be beautiful moments, and bask in both of them. Sit with those
Definitely.
feelings. You know what I mean? And tap yourself on the back too. Like, yeah, I did that. I pushed a whole human being out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. You know us Leos, we don't have a problem with self praise. That's easy for
Okay.
us. My arm is very long to pat myself on the back.
She's like, I'm giving myself two pats.
Right. Two on the both sides.
Oh my gosh. Des, it's always a pleasure. Please come back and enjoy. Tell Mr. Bishop I said hello, and Brandy, kiss to the forehead.
Of course, and thank you so much for having me. It was truly an honor.
Oh, you're welcome. And to those of you listening and watching, I'm Thamousca, your host, signing off. And always remember to keep it real. Ta ta.